You probably think goosebumps keep you warm. And that's almost completely wrong. You felt them 1,000 times. A cold breeze, a scary scene, a song that lands just right. Suddenly your skin tightens into tiny bumps. Little hills rising all across your arms. It feels like your body is bracing for something. But what is it actually trying to do? Not what goosebumps feel like. What your skin is secretly attempting. Here's the strange part. Your body is trying to fluff up fur you no longer have. Let's start with a belief everyone holds. The story goes that goosebumps are about heat. You get cold, your skin pebbles up, and somehow that warms you. It sounds reasonable, and for most of your life, nobody questioned it. After all, the bumps really do show up the second you step into a freezer aisle. So we file it away as the body's little heating trick. And honestly, the cold part isn't a lie. Cold genuinely is one of the triggers. When your skin temperature drops, a signal races to your nervous system. That signal flips a switch you have no control over. Right now, try to give yourself goosebumps on purpose. You can't, can you? That alone is your first clue that something deeper is going on. Because this isn't a choice your conscious mind gets to make. It's run by an automatic system, the same one behind your racing heart and sweaty palms. So let's look at what's physically happening under the skin. Picture a single hair on your arm. At the base of that hair sits a microscopic muscle. Scientists call it the erector pili. It's tiny, it's everywhere, and you've never once felt it working. There are tens of thousands of these little muscles threaded all through your skin. When the trigger fires, that little muscle contracts. It totes the hair upright like a soldier snapping to attention. And because the muscle is anchored to your skin, it pulls the surface into a small mound. Multiply that by thousands of hairs. That's your goosebumps. A field of microscopic muscles all flexing at the exact same moment. All of it happening in a fraction of a second, faster than you could ever sync it. Think about that for a second. You have a built-in muscle for each hair just to make it stand up. That seems like a wildly elaborate system for a few harmless bumps. So why would your body bother building it? Here's where the warm blanket story starts to fall apart. Because the truth points somewhere much older than you. To understand your bumps, you have to picture a body that looks nothing like yours. Imagine an animal covered head to toe in thick fur. When that animal gets cold, those same tiny muscles raise the fur upright. The standing fur traps a thick layer of air against the skin. That pocket of warm air sits like a buffer between the cold world and the body. That trapped air becomes a cozy, insulating blanket. For a furry creature, this works beautifully. It genuinely does keep them warm. The thicker the standing fur, the better that animal survives a freezing night. But now look down at your own arm. Where is your thick, insulating coat of fur? It's gone. You're running a fur fluffing program, but almost no fur left to fluff. So your skin lifts a coat that simply isn't there anymore. That's why the bumps barely do anything to warm you. You kept the machinery, but you lost the blanket it was built for. Your ancestors slowly traded that heavy coat for bare, sweat-cooled skin over countless generations. Scientists call a leftover trait like this vestigial. It's basically a glitch left over from an older model of you. Your goosebumps are an echo of an ancestor who needed the fur. The reflex stayed in the code long after the fur faded away. Evolution rarely tidies up after itself, so old wiring often lingers long past its usefulness. But here's where it gets weirder. Cold is only half the story. Because you don't just get goosebumps when you're freezing. You get them during a terrifying movie when the room is perfectly warm. You get them when a singer holds one impossible note. You get them at a moment that moves you, with no cold in sight. So what does fear have to do with raising fur? This is the part that ties it all together. That automatic system I mentioned is your fight or flight response. When you sense danger, your body floods with adrenaline. Your heart pounds, your eyes widen, and yes, your hairs stand up. All of it primes you in an instant to either fight or flee. Now picture that furry ancestor again, suddenly facing a threat. In that frozen moment, looking bigger could mean the difference between life and death. With every hair raised, their whole body looks instantly bigger. A bigger silhouette can scare off a predator or rival. You've seen a frightened cat do exactly this. Its fur puffs out and it doubles in apparent size. That's the very same reflex you carry, just without the dramatic result. Your hairs lift bravely, but there's simply nothing left up there to make you look bigger. So, fear raises your fur for an ancient bluff. A bluff your bare skin can no longer pull off. Once it was a real warning, and now it's an empty gesture your body still performs. Let me pause here and ask you something. When was the last time goosebumps swept over you, and what set them off? Was it a chill, a fright, or a song that hit somewhere deep? I'd genuinely love to know, so drop it in the comments below. It's strangely fun to see which trigger gets people the most. Now stick with me, because the emotional side has one more surprise. The most fascinating goosebumps aren't from cold or fear at all. They come from awe. That shiver down your spine during a powerful piece of music. That wave across your arms at a breathtaking view. A sunset, a story, a moment so big your body simply has to respond. Researchers sometimes call these the chills or frisson. It's the same hair-raising reflex, fired by pure emotion. No cold, no predator. Just a feeling powerful enough to move your skin. And scientists are still genuinely debating exactly why beauty triggers it. One idea is that intense awe lights up the same alarm circuits as a threat. Your brain treats overwhelming emotion a little like a jolt of danger. So the body grabs the nearest tool it has, and that tool happens to be goosebumps. So your ancient defense system misfires in the most wonderful way. Nobody has fully settled this, and that uncertainty is part of the charm. What we do know is that not everyone gets these emotional chills. Some people feel them constantly, others rarely at all. And that may say something about how deeply you tend to feel things. Researchers are still mapping why some of us are wired to feel that rush so easily. Think about how odd that is. A reflex once meant for surviving the cold and scaring off predators. Now quietly going off because a melody is too beautiful to bear. The same muscles, repurposed by your emotions. Here's a moment to feel it yourself. The next time a song gives you that rush, glance down at your arm. Watch the tiny bumps rise in real time. You're witnessing a survival tool from millions of years ago, fired by art. A predator scaring reflex triggered by a chorus. There's something almost poetic about a leftover instinct finding a brand new job. A survival reflex that outlived its purpose and somehow stumbled into beauty instead. And it gets stranger still when you realize how universal it is. This reflex isn't unique to humans at all. It's an ancient mammalian feature shared across countless species. The porcupine raising its quills runs on the same basic wiring. The frightened cat puffing up uses the very same muscle action. You're connected to all of them by one tiny muscle and one old reflex. From the smallest mouse to you, the blueprint has barely changed. So let's pull back and put the pieces together. Goosebumps were never really about keeping you warm. That was the convenient story, but the body tells a deeper one. They're the ghost of a fur coat you lost long ago. A reflex for trapping heat, for looking bigger, for surviving a harsher world. And today that same circuit fires for cold, for fear, and for beauty. Your skin is running ancient software on hardware that has quietly moved on. The code never got the memo that the fur was gone. So here's the thought I want to leave with you. The next time goosebumps ripple across your arms, you'll know what you're seeing. Your body raising a coat of fur that vanished from your ancestors ages ago. A small automatic salute to a version of you that needed it. You'll feel a chill or a song, and your skin will answer the only way it knows. By reaching for a blanket that isn't there anymore. And now you'll understand the quiet little reflex behind it. If this gave you a new way to look at your own skin, drop a like to help it spread. Subscribe to Bodyquirk because your body is hiding 100 more secrets like this one. And tell me in the comments, do songs give you the chills, yes or no? Next time, we'll dig into why you can't tickle yourself no matter how hard you try. Until then, pay attention to the strange, brilliant machine you live inside. It's been running these ancient tricks the whole time, and you've barely noticed.